name. I know like 14 and a half Polluxes.
And a
Someone
half?
call me in here? No, sorry, Pollux. I wasn't calling you. You mean Pollux from HR? I could go get him. No,
Oh
thank
my
you, Pollux. Pollux from accounting? We're good, Pollux. We're just talking. Thank you, Pollux. All right, if you
So
guys need
many of
anything,
them!
just-
Hey guys, Dennis Mockin here. Thanks for hanging out. Today's reaction is the latest pitch meeting. This is Face Off, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am for this. This is literally one of my favorite 90s movies. And I'm saying it's one of my favorites, but I also know just how bad it is. And I'm really excited to see what exactly he points out. And after he does all that, I will go into more detail after he's done to why exactly I love it, while also knowing that it's pretty bad. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please go over and support Screen Rant and Ryan George. I'll leave a link to both those channels, along with a link to the original video in the description. And if you enjoy what you see your day, mean a word to me if you give that like button some love and subscribe for more daily reactions. Without any further ado, let go.
So, you have a 90s movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. And by the way, there's no need to specify the current decade, because it's currently the current decade. Oh, well, I'll keep that in mind.
Sure.
Right, the 90s mind. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna meet this FBI agent named Sean Archer, right? Okay, and what's his real name? Sean Archer. I don't believe you.
Well,
All
it is.
right, and so he's on a carousel with his little son, right? Being all dad-like, running his fingers down his face and stuff. What? You know how you do that with people you love, just kind of run your oily fingers down their faces? That sounds awful. Sean Archer does that to everybody he loves, and then we're gonna meet this bad guy with a gun named Castor Troy. Okay, and what's his real name? Castor Troy. No. Yep, and he tries to kill Sean Archer, but the bullet goes through him and kills his son. Oh no. Yeah, so Sean Archer's very sad, you know, crying and everything. And so Castor takes a second shot, finishes the job, and kills Sean? He doesn't, no. What? Why not? He's right there. So the movie can happen. Oh, okay. So anyway, then a couple years later, Castor Troy plants this bomb for like 260-something hours later. Good to get a head start on work, I guess. Yeah, but then the FBI gets a lead on where he's headed. Oh, how do they get that? Well, Castor's brother pays for a private plane with cash. How'd they trace cash? Well, he used his real name for the transaction. Oh, which is? Pollux. Pollux Troy. Okay. Hey, you're not gonna ask if that's his real name? No, Pollux, perfectly normal name. I know like 14 and a half Polluxes. Someone call me in here? No, sorry, Pollux, I wasn't calling you. You mean Pollux from HR? I could go get him. No, thank you, Pollux. Pollux from accounting? We're good, Pollux. We're just talking. Thank you, Pollux. All right, if you
So
guys
many
need
of them!
anything, just call out Pollux. My name is Pollux. Yeah, I know.
All right,
Thank you,
Pollux.
Pollux.
Bye. That's
That
weird.
was Pollux.
Yeah, we got it.
That. Hey, why'd you say 14 and a half? Oh, well, Pollux from HR is half the man Pollux from accounting is. Okay. Anyway, so what else happens? Oh, well, then there's going to be this big over-the-top chase and shootout. There's going to be fireworks for some reason. It's going to be nuts. Wow. And then Sean is going to push Castor in front of a jet engine and knock him out real good. Wow, got him. He did, yeah. But now the FBI needs to figure out where Castor planted this bomb, and Pollux, he's not talking. Oh, so what do? Well, they decide to take his face off. Oh, taking someone's face off is tight. Have you done that? Yes. Oh, very messed up. So
Oh my
anyway,
God.
Sean undergoes this procedure where they put Castor's face onto his so he can try to get some info off of Pollux in jail. What about stuff like his eyes and his teeth and the shape of his skull and his body? Yeah, don't worry about that. Oh, okay,
No, that's
I
fine.
won't. And what about his voice? Oh, well, this doctor explains that he implanted a microchip in his larynx, but this thing's super fragile. Like a big sneeze and it'll get dislodged. Oh, wow. I bet that's gonna come into play later. Not even a little bit. Not even in a fight scene? Not at all. Okay. So Sean goes into this fancy prison where they have like magnets on people's feet and they have screens where people are dots for some reason. Very fancy. And he manages to find out from Pollux that the bomb is at the LA Convention Center. Oh, well, that plan worked almost immediately. It did, but meanwhile, Castor Troy wakes up from his coma and his face is gone. Oh boy. So Castor is angry and he gets his crew to come help him. Well, it's gonna be hard for them to help at all. Actually, it's gonna be super easy.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah, they just go pick up the face transplant doctor and every single person that knows about the mission. How did he know who knew about the mission? Unclear. And how did they manage to get past hospital security? Oh, no, he was left all alone in the building with no handcuffs.
Whoopsie.
Oh, a very strange way to leave a terrorist. Yeah, it might not make a whole lot of sense, but this way the movie can happen. Well, that is a thing we want, I guess. So Castor has them put Sean's face on his, and then he kills everybody. Very evil. And then just when Sean thinks he's about to get released from prison, Castor Castor shows up like, hey, guess what? I'm you now, and I'm gonna live your life and sleep with your wife Eve.
Wow, so what does Sean do?
Well, now he's gotta escape from prison, but this place is surrounded by ocean, so it's a tough situation.
Sure, so how does he manage it?
Oh, well, he on purpose gets in a fight and then grabs a cigarette and then gets carried away, but manages to keep the cigarette, and then he gets put in a zappy chair, and he gets this prison guard that hates him to like the cigarette, and then he convinces this other prisoner who just got his brain zapped that they need to escape. So then he uses the lit cigarette to burn a guard, and he and the prisoner, who's fine now, by the way,
Yeah,
they
apparently.
fight everybody, and a riot breaks out, and bullets fly everywhere, and Sean gets to the roof, and a helicopter shoots at him, and he jumps into the water.
Okay. So I feel like every single part of that process was extremely unlikely, and if a single small part didn't turn out perfectly, then the whole thing would have fallen apart.
Yeah.
That works for me. So how did
It's a cool scene, though.
he get away from the helicopter?
Oh, well, after he jumped into the water, they just kind of fly away.
They don't wait for him to surface or to catch him as he's swimming to shore?
They don't, no.
Well,
No.
okay
Oh.
then.
So anyway, meanwhile, Castor's been living life as Sean, living in his house, sleeping with his wife.
And she doesn't recognize his body and whatnot?
She doesn't, no.
Huh?
And Castor also decided to uncover the bomb himself and become this hero. He gets named Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
They just happened to be naming Man of the Year that week?
Yes.
Apparently
And
so.
eventually Sean manages to talk to his wife, and he's like, Castor and I don't have the same blood type, so that's how you can tell that I'm me.
Okay.
So in the middle of
Yeah.
the night, she sticks him with a needle and takes some of his blood.
Does he not feel that?
Somehow he doesn't. So then Eve checks
Apparently
the
he's
blood
just
types and sees
completely
that
passed
they
out.
don't match. And then Sean shows up and tells her a story that only he could know.
Oh, feels like he should have led with that.
Maybe.
Probably.
So then what happens?
Well, Castor's getting yelled at by this FBI boss, and he starts to have a heart attack, so Castor finishes the job.
What?
And then there's going to be this big showdown at this guy's funeral.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of shooting, and then a big chase where Castor
So
shoots a
much
bunch
death.
of people.
Very rude.
And then there's going to be this big boat chase where some stunt doubles do some crazy stuff, and Sean's going to kill Castor.
Wow,
So good, though.
Wow.
And so, yeah, then Sean gets his face back, and everything's great, and he does that hand thing to his
Yeah.
family.
Anyone gonna address the fact that Time Magazine's Man of the Year shot a bunch of people?
No, but
Nope.
also Sean is going to bring home Castor's little son. He's going to live with them now.
He didn't check with his wife to see if she was okay with it?
No, just brought home a replacement son without asking. And so that's about it. What do you think?
Well, sounds like a lot of crazy fun for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely a one-of-a-kind movie.
Oh, yeah,
Yep,
one
sure.
of a kind, absolutely.
Only once. But apparently we're getting a reboot being developed. Paramount Pictures is developing a reboot of John Woo's 1997 action movie hit Face Off. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, the reason why I love this movie so much, and admittedly, I saw this when I was a bit younger, so at that time, I wasn't really paying attention to the story as much as I do now. But for me, it was, like he said at the very beginning, because it was very, very important to mention 90s action movie, because that literally should be its own genre, because just the way 90s movies were shot, just the craziness of some of the scenes, the over-the-top acting, a lot of things that didn't really make any sense. But for me, with this movie, this felt to me like peak 90s action movie, and also peak Nicolas Cage craziness, like his crazy roles, like the crazy stuff that he does. This was peak crazy, right? Because it was peak crazy mixed in with the fact that this movie was just so over the top. So many people died. There were so many explosions, so many stunts, so many bullets fired. It was just absolutely insane. And what they didn't mention there at the end was the reason why that kid got adopted was because Castor Troy's I don't remember if I don't think it was a wife thing. It was like a girlfriend or something of Castor. And while Sean Archer was a Castor Troy, he ended up coming back to the old gang or whatever. And there was a big shootout with the PD and Castor Troy's gang. And after all that, that's basically what prompted the whole Sean Archer's boss getting fired thing, because he was super upset about that. So many people died on both sides. It was a huge massacre, and they didn't end up getting the guy that they want. But in that scene, though, the mother died. The mother of that kid died, who, again, is related to Castor Troy, but not actually married. So he sort of made like this... No, wait, she didn't die there. She didn't die there. She died later on in that big fight thing. And, you know, of course, he barely knew who this person was, but out of the kindness of his heart decided to adopt this kid. And that was basically the end scene. The one thing is, I was always like super creeped out and super weirded out about the whole face thing. Like he literally does that with everybody. Everyone's super cool with it. Well, I guess it's just his family members anyway. And then this new kid who has no idea about this thing, he just does it, and he's just super cool with it. So yeah, it's super crazy, super over the top. Most of the scenes didn't make any sense, but it's just so fun to watch. This is I know with a lot of these, a lot of scenes don't make any sense. A lot of things don't really add up. That's why it's a bad movie. But I feel like in this case, maybe it's just nostalgia for me that doesn't really work for me there. It just really just more. I guess maybe fuck it. It probably is just a nostalgic factor. I know this movie's bad, but it's really, really hard for me to hate it. But so that will do it for me here. And before I go, though, we'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Marvin Espinoza, Cruising, and Wolverine310. Thank you guys so much. And with that being said, comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about Face Off? Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, if you want to see past reactions I've done to other pitch meetings, got a nice playlist right up there full of videos for you. Share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, ring the notification bell because I put up new videos every single day, and I will see you guys next time.